TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
Welcome back to TGR News.
Hello, hello.
Well, we had another great week of passing out food, but this week was a little different. It was in a snowstorm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a busy day. We woke up very early in the morning. We went to Jerusalem because of the mayor's office
Yeah.
calling us, saying they need help with the getting people around town because there was no public transportation, and the snowstorm and the roads were just impossible for anyone in a regular car to drive around.
Yeah.
So we took people needing dialysis, people needed going to the hospital, take doing some medical procedures, and even a doctor to the hospital, to his clinic, so that he could go to work to help the people. And so when we passed out the food this week, it was a little earlier than usual.
Yeah.
You could tell in the video, it's still daylight, I think.
Yeah, not dark yet.
Like it was in the summertime when we passed out food. So it was very cold, very windy, very rainy, but we still did it. We passed out. Everyone got their food, and I noticed some of the people. Their first comment was, "Wow, in this weather, you still bringing the food? Absolutely, we'll bring." It's like the post office in the rain and the sleet and the snow.
Yeah. They were surprised, and I love this feeling that we give you this feeling of security that you can trust us every week.
We're coming give you that food, food that you so desperately need, and the food that we're able to give them because of you guys giving your support to this ministry to be able to help us do it.
Yeah.
And so God bless you, and I know He is going to bless you because that's what He promised. Bless those that bless Israel and curse those that curse Israel.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, and but another thing is being so cold and snowstorm and everything else. You notice we're not in the studio.
Yeah.
I couldn't make that happen this week, but everything is staying the same.
This is our little home.
Absolutely. But next week, I think the weather's going to be better and everything will be back to normal. We even did a little video. I don't know if it'll come out good. Well, I'll play with it, edit it a little bit, see what it looks like. Did a little video of us going around helping people in the snowstorm.
Yeah.
Hopefully, because I haven't been able to put out any regular videos these last couple of weeks because of the weather as well.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll turn that into a little video. It'll be a short little thing, but I think you guys would enjoy it.
Well, I have confession. It felt not only good to help people, but it felt for me good to go to the snow. It was deep and heavy snow, and I enjoyed it so much to go around.
Yeah, you did enjoy it. Well, I guess we get started.
Yeah, let's start. Prime Minister Bennett has finally started making some right decisions. It's about time. Kids from birth to 18 years old will no longer be put in quarantine. They will have to take 2 home tests a week, and that's all. They will finally be able to go back to school. Yeah, well, I know. I'm always against Naftali Bennett. But it's right. Like the old saying, even a broken clock is right twice a day. So it is. It is a good decision finally be made. I'm glad this happened finally, yeah. I was devastated from all these quarantines. Crazy. Another good decision that Prime Minister Bennett made is that he is finally canceling the green passport. Yeah, well, you're right again. It's true. He is doing these things. That's good. But let's get into the details. First of all, you're right. Greenpeace discontinuing the green passport, but it's not like he's actually doing anything. The date for it to go out to expire is coming up this week, and the only thing he's doing is not initiating it. So he's just doing nothing, which is causing that to happen. Yeah, and it's right though about the schools. It's good that he's doing that. And I think it's great. Do they know what is green passport? Everyone knows what the green passport is. It's something that lets you in and live your life only if you have the vaccination. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course. Well, talking about the corona stuff still, the CEO of Pfizer, Albert Bourla, whatever his name, however you say his name, was given the Israeli equivalent of the Nobel Prize, which is called the Bereshit Prize, which is the Genesis. Bereshit in Hebrew is Genesis, like the book of Genesis.
In his speech, he said that being the son of a Holocaust survivors made Israel very important to him, and he will always do what he can to help Israel. He went on to say that he believes that it's time for the world to go back to normal life. The virus, it's time. Well, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
First of all, I could understand why he's so close to Israel. Of course, his parents were. Since his story is pretty famous by now. You can Google it if you haven't read his story about his parents being Holocaust survivors and everything, growing up like that. But it was interesting, that he's the guy who come up with the vaccine, and he says it's time. Let's just go back to normal life, folks.
Yeah.
But another thing was interesting is when he talked about how he always would help Israel. In the interview they asked him, you were very close to Benjamin Netanyahu, our former prime minister. He said, yeah, it's no secret. We were in contact a lot, and then I tried, I do everything I can to help him and everything, and get Israel the first vaccines and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But when they asked him, what did he think about Naftali Bennett? How's his relationship with Prime Minister Naftali Bennett? He was very politically correct in the way he answered. He said, without saying he don't like the guy, he says he does. He put it like this. He says it doesn't matter who is in charge of the state of Israel. Whoever it is, he'll work closely with them to help the state of Israel as much as possible. We're mixing up a few things here, but I just thought it was an interesting interview.
Yeah.
Well, President Joe Biden's lapse in judgment. I'm sure you guys heard about this when he told Russia, when he told President Putin that the White House would accept a small incursion into Ukraine. Well, I'm sure you all know about this already, but that will have untold consequences here in the Middle East. Now, Iran, China, and Russia know that the White House is too weak to stand up against them. It's these little things that President Joe Biden does. It's just
big consequences.
Huge consequences and such big problems. This is. We have the wrong guy at the helm right at the wrong time when everything is coming together,
Yeah.
It's getting real bad real quick.
Yeah.
Now that Russia made an Air Force training run in Syria. I don't know if you heard about it. They right down close to our border actually. Question was it to make a show of power against America's strongest ally? Here Israel in the Middle East, or is it against Israel directly to stop us from stopping the Iranian attempts to send weapons into the Hezbollah? So they did a big air show,
kind of.
kind of thing, training exercise right on the Israeli border, on the Golan, but on the Syrian side of the Golan Heights, and so that really is the question. Was it against us to try to scare us from going in and stopping and doing our airstrikes that we do against Iran, giving Syria and Lebanon ammunition and stuff to fight us, right, to Hezbollah? Or was it a show of strength against America, against President Joe Biden, to sort of threaten America's biggest ally here, us, Israel?
Time will show, probably.
Yeah, we'll see.
The Ministry of Defense here in Israel are opening up a school to teach kids how to fight against anti-Semitism and fight cyber attacks on social media. That's actually
quite interesting.
I love it.
Yeah, that is something. The Israeli Defense Force. It's basically the IDF when you say the Ministry of Defense. They're putting out schools, actually places for kids to come and learn and how to fight against cyber attacks and stuff like that. That's really neat.
And it's in young age. I think it was the middle school, right?
Yeah, it's very, very neat. I think that's amazing. I think it's great. One thing Israel's always lacked behind is the war in the media. The reason why there is so much anti-Semitics in the world, and there is so many people against Israel and think that the Palestinians are poor people who are being oppressed and whatever, and they need help. The reason is There's only one reason, not because it's true. It's not the truth.
No.
The only reason is because they are great at the
Lying.
at the media war, and we are horrible.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think it's the feeling that we have that we are on the right side, so we don't have to explain anything.
Yeah,
or something.
it was a mistake.
It's a mistake. It's
Yeah.
a huge mistake.
Yep. People only know what they hear. People only believe what they see,
Yeah.
And if you don't show them, then of course they're going to believe the lies of the other side.
So many lies on the other side.
Yeah.
So many lies. And sometimes you show people like this. Remember the funeral that they
Oh,
made?
yeah.
In the middle there was a siren, and they they throw the guy whose funeral was and run away. And then you see the guy looking around.
Jump up out of the casket and run for
And
for
if
safety.
you don't show it to people, they think it's a real funeral, that we kill them, and and they show only the part that's good for them. They don't show, let's say, how they attack our soldiers. They show that just the part that the soldiers look at them and they're mad or something. And eventually the soldiers don't do anything because they don't have the power, because we don't give them the power.
Absolutely.
So it's
Well, this Sunday in Tiberias, they had 12 earthquakes. Only 3 of them were you could actually feel them. But the largest was a 3.8 on the Richter scale. It caused damage to many apartment buildings and caused panic with the children in schools and everything. This is got earthquakes now in Israel. That's biblical. That's prophetic. We know that there's going to be a big one here that's going to, open up probably the mountains. The only way I can see how it works is through Jerusalem, connecting the Dead Sea and the Mediterranean. So we know it's coming. But this was one that happened, and it's 12 earthquakes in one day. Actually, this was happening right at the moment. I don't know if you guys are following us on the goldenreport.com, but I had just wrote an article about the weather and everything else. It's called Wicked Weather. And right while I was writing that article, that was when this was happening. I was talking about the weather, writing about the weather, and this was happening.
the kids, I think, were more scared of this. They have announcement.
The announcement, siren
and people couldn't understand where it's coming from, because it was the old alarms that used to be there.
Yeah.
They didn't work for a long time, for many years, and suddenly they worked because of the earthquake. So people started thinking, what is this? Is IDF did something new here technologically? No, it was something old that been there for many, many years.
That's true.
And now they started preparing more, I think. They started thinking about the future and how to prevent, because they know it's just a matter of time that big earthquake.
The big earthquake's going to happen, yeah. Israel's always trying to do things with new technology and stuff. You never know. If Israel decides to get involved in earthquake detection, you're liable in 2 years, you're liable to be able to predict earthquakes like we predict the weather. The Israelis are amazing about that kind of stuff.
Have a good head. Okay. This week, the Arabs in the Negev posted on social media how they went around and pulled out every tree that the Jews had planted 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
We talked about it on the news here. Yeah, about how what happened. What we were talking about is how every year Israel does this. It was also something prophetic from the Bible that God promised that He'll turn the desert fertile, right? And He did. And we just love that blessing here in Israel. And we're always planting trees and just making the desert more and more green, less and less desert, actually.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. And then Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, he stopped everyone from doing it because the Arabs didn't like it. And he wanted Mansour Abbas, the Arab leader of the party and his coalition, Ram is the name of the party. Yeah. He needed him to show up and make a vote. So he stopped what Israel does every year. But then after all that, now 2 weeks later, like you just said, the Arabs in the Negev are just running around and doing it in an ugly way, pulling the little trees out, snapping them and beating them, and like they're doing, it's insane, and putting it all over social media. I think they've probably taken out every tree they've planted by now, because it's
sad.
Yeah, it really is sad. It's just, and once again, go back to the media war, and these are the people that are winning the media war, acting like they have, they're such wonderful people, and we're so bad for planting trees.
Yes.
Yeah. The third car explosion this week was in the center of the country in a quiet neighborhood. A pregnant mother with her baby in the back seat So there was a mother, she was pregnant and had a baby in the back seat. Went to leave in the morning and the car exploded. This is by the hands of the Arab criminal elements, and even worse, this mother was a mistaken identity. She wasn't even supposed to be the target. We've been talking about that too.
Yeah.
The criminal element, the Arab criminal element here in Israel is getting way, way out of control.
Yeah.
Way out of control. It's a long time for us to do something about that.
Now it's coming to the very peaceful and quiet neighborhoods. Maybe it will change something.
But I think that also turns back to the same problem seems like this video has a theme, is the media war that we keep losing. So Israel's always afraid of making any strong moves against any kind of Arab, no matter if it's right or wrong, right? Because we don't want to look bad in the media.
Exactly.
We don't want the world to come against us.
Politically correct in this situation is bad. It's bad because those minorities, they are not so much minorities anymore, but minorities, because they have their propaganda, their agenda, they pushing like we're poor, we don't have this, we don't have that, we have discrimination against us. So we're trying to prove them that we're trying to prove everybody, no, you are loved, you are okay. So we're giving them too much.
Yep. Absolutely.
And eventually they have all this freedom of doing those things.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just mad.
Yeah, I can understand.
I'm just thinking about myself, leaving the house with my kid. I'm pregnant. It was the 5th month, I think. And
the car exploded.
It's scary.
Well, go back to the weather. This, like we talked about at the beginning of the video, this storm, it's a new thing, by the way, here in Israel. Storms having names. In America, you're used to it. Here, it's something new. The name of this one was Alpis, or something like that. It was the name of the storm that came to Israel. It was on Wednesday when it hit here in Israel, Wednesday night. It brought snow into Jerusalem. Jerusalem's full of snow. Beautiful, beautiful sight. And the last time that happened, I think, was 2013. So
the heavy snow.
All of Jerusalem was under snow.
Yeah.
And in the storm, there was also, it caused a lightning strike that hit straight into an apartment and
set on fire.
Yeah, it set the apartment on fire. But it was no one was hurt. That was in the northern part of the country, but no one was hurt in that. But this thing about they're naming the storms now, Alpes, it's kind of neat. Last time it was Carmel, we named it. This time it was Alpes. I think it was Greece that named it. What it is it's like a little accord they made with all the Middle Eastern countries around here. And every time it's another country's turn to name the storm, and we call it by name now.
Well, I heard it Elpis, and many Israelis say it's Elvis, like Elvis Presley.
Elvis, yeah.
Mistaken,
with the Israeli accent, everyone's calling it Elvis. Yeah.
Elvis.
So
Yeah.
I don't think Elvis would have liked that. Elvis storm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got anything you want to add?
I won't do this again. I won't say I don't have anything to add, and then I'll start talking about something. Okay, so. No.
But we like it when you say stuff.
I wish you.
So you said no now? Okay.
I didn't say I won't say. No, I said no. I just want to wish you happy Shabbat.
Yes.
So, and God will bless you for all the help that you're giving us in this
Amen.
ministry. Thank you so much. And then don't forget to visit us at thegoldenreport.com. We'll be happy to hear from you in the comments. We like your comments. We read your comments. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to say?
No. You said it. That's usually what I say at the close, but you said it.
I'm learning fast.
So we'll see you next week. God bless.
Bye-bye.